Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Keeping It Real Conversation Show with your host, Camila, aka Sunshine. It is Tuesday, September 3rd, 2024. We are so glad to be in the land of the living. It could have been another way, but however, God saw fit that we would be here tonight. Do me a favor and let people know that we are live right now on Sunshine Camila on Facebook. We are at the YouTube channel, which is the name of the show, Keeping It Real Conversations with Sunshine. And we're live on Twitch and X, better known as Twitter. Please let somebody know. Of course, we believe in 6 degrees of separation. You're literally one person away, one advice away, one help away from where you need to be in your destiny, proven over and over again since I started this show in 2020. Again, I say some of the dopest people on this side of heaven, and tonight is no different than any other night that I've had guests on this show. I am super excited that, again, people are recommending other people to the show to have a conversation with us. This lady right here, I'm super excited to learn about her, just like you are, and we're going to get into that conversation shortly in just a second once I get this up and posted. And let's get it done. So tonight we have this wonderful lady who is a public speaker who motivates people to find their purposes in life. She was led to public speaking because of her tenacious love for being a service to others. Since 2007, she has been a teacher for children with autism. Through her teaching, she has assisted many children with increasing their quality of life based on each child's individual needs. She has also taught many parents to advocate for their children's rights. From her experience as a teacher, she learned that if a person works on increasing their quality of life, they can find their own purpose. Besides being a public speaker and a teacher, Keyva is also an astrologer. Ooh. For over 10 years, she has been assisting many people with using astrology as a tool to find their own purpose. With her experience as a teacher and astrologer, she understands the importance of free will and cultivating a path in life that can be successful by any way one chooses. So tonight, Village, you know what to do. If you're at home in any room at your place, I need you to stand up. I need you to reach for the stars, and I need you to open your mouth. Now, hold on. If you're in your car, I need you to safely pull over, roll down the windows, or get out and scream to the top of your lungs. Welcome, Miss Keyva Bridges, to the show.
Hello.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening to you and to the audience out there.
We are so glad that you were able to come in tonight. I'm super excited. Of course, I get excited for the simple fact that I'm meeting a new human being. I get off on that. I'm sorry. I understand that we have so much in common. We have more in common than we do difference, unless you find out only by having a conversation. So tonight, I know I'm going to find out something that we have in common. And it happens all the time. Miss Keyva Bridges, we're going to start off with something simple. Let's start with, how did you grow up?
How did I grow up? I grew up, it was my mother, myself, and I was the only child with my mother. And I had siblings on my father's side. So I have the feel of understanding about siblings, but then also having just that only child feel. And there are ways about me that are like only child ways. Like, I don't like people messing with my stuff. I'm very territorial about my stuff. Don't touch my stuff. We gonna have it. So I grew up that way, and I grew up with, a lot of independence. My mother, she worked a lot, but she instilled in me to have freedom and independence when I was a child. So I had a lot of freedom to do as I needed. And if she needed to discipline me, I did get disciplined. But I didn't grow up in a strict household. So the fact that I'm very much into the spirituality and everything of this nature, it was within me as a child, and I had that opportunity to explore that as a child. So naturally, when I became an adult, it just was within me to do all that. And education was very important in my household. My mom always loves to tell the story about in kindergarten, I had a hard time having a learning addition. So what she did was, for Christmas, she put all these toys back and got me some educational toys because they were talking about failing me. And so my mom was very much making sure that I understood. And so when she goes to parent teacher conferences in kindergarten, they ask her, could she tutor other kids? She's like, no. That's not in my forte to do that. So I definitely grew up from the time from kindergarten to senior year in high school. My mom went to every single one of my parent-teacher conferences. So education was pushed. I had freedom as a child, independence. Life was great. And then I had the balance of understanding my, working with my siblings and growing up with them, because I'm the youngest of all my siblings. And my dad was around in my life. He just did not live in my house, but I had the opportunity to know both sides of my family.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's fine. That is good, because again, it's the not being sheltered, having a different outlook. I find that people who have, the separates, or I was blessed to have, both of my parents in the same house, and I have a younger brother and sister. I didn't like being the oldest. I wish there were one or a few, higher than me. So for me, being the oldest, you're the, as we call, the guinea pig, or the experiment child. So everything is an experiment with you, whether it's good or bad. So once the other siblings come around, it's second nature. Is, you're not so intense with the other ones like you was with the first one. So of course, I didn't like being the first. And so with me being the first and being a female, I had to learn survival skills as if I was a boy, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So I had to learn how to fight. I had to learn how to, wrestle. And just because I'm a girl, don't underestimate me, because I had to be the protector. So it's funny how you hear all these different family dynamics, and everybody takes away from it a different way. Of, man, I wish I had other siblings that were older than me, so I wouldn't have to, do all the hard stuff, and everybody else just, on easy street. So let's get into, even in your youth, education being, pushed, very strong on making sure that you're successful in school. When did you have the idea of not only teaching, but also the stars, astrology?
So as far as teaching goes, I can remember it was a story in first grade. And I was talking to someone next to me, and I was 7 years old. We were talking about, what do you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to be? And I was like, I want to be a teacher. And I actually stuck through that through my whole career in school. I was going to be a teacher. In college, I went and I wanted to be a teacher. And I started part my career as teaching history and social studies.
Okay.
So I started that, but then I end up getting into autism and I started working with a student that had autism. And I was like, oh, I like this. And then I went and decided to get my master's with autism. And so ever since then, that's been my job, teaching children with autism. I usually get the little ones. I get them kindergarten um, 5 through 8, 9, 10 years old. And I've been doing it ever since. So I love it. I definitely do love it. And as far as astrology goes for me, I can clearly remember those stories that I remember being a child, because I remember being a child and no one ever taught me a lot of the stuff that I did. It's naturally me, naturally Keyva. And I remember when I was a child that I would get playing cards and I would sit here and play with the playing cards and I would act like they were tarot cards. And no one ever taught me this. No one ever taught me. Now, there is a difference between tarot, psychics, and so forth, and astrology, but being in that whole realm, I was young and remember getting involved in it. And then I also remember my mom, she's very much into health because she's a Virgo, and anybody knows anything about Virgos, they could be very health conscious. And my mom would always go to Zerbos. I don't know if you're familiar with Zerbos, but it's a health food store that they have in Livonia. And she would go and get all different types of food. And I remember being like 10 years old, and she would come home with these pamphlets. And with those pamphlets, I would see like the zodiac signs. So by the time I was 10, 11 years old, it was just natural within me. I was into reading, and I could tell someone, oh, you're born March 15th, you're a Pisces, or you're born April 11th, or you're an Aries. I would be able to tell people that. So it was just naturally within me to do that. And then I started getting into it because I started having friends that were encompassed into astrology, and just naturally those people started coming around me, and I started to love, grow, and work with and help people with their lives through astrology.
Okay. I have my sister is a teacher, and technically, if I had finished school when I first started, I was going to be a teacher as well. I think I wanted to either be elementary or middle school, catch them before they got to high school. But it didn't turn out that way. I had teaching experience as far as my life as a teacher that way versus being in a classroom. And so I understand the whole, concept with the teaching. You have to love it for real. You have to love what you do, because sometimes the sacrifice that you're doing doesn't always pay out on paper. And dealing with autism in itself, you have to have patience. You have to love it. You have to understand it. It is a different special heart in that capacity. With, I have a niece and nephew that have levels of autism. I have an auntie who her whole teaching career was into autism awareness. And so that is a personal also topic when it comes to the person. Sometimes, unfortunately, we categorize people and put them in this box. And instead of, as you do, teach them how to increase their level of living, we want to put them in this box and categorize them instead of as you are a human, you are a person as well. And we're not going to just put you in here because you're different than everybody else. Well, hello, everybody. We're all different.
Yes, exactly.
We all are different.
Exactly.
That is on purpose.
Yes.
Duh. And so I have definitely matter of fact, my first year at U of M, and we saying, hey, we want to be teachers. They put us at I want to say Pioneer High School in Ann Arbor or Ipsy, one of them. And we had our curriculum. We had to go to the school. And in this part, it was kids that were up to 20 something years old, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a case file for each child that was in this particular program. And each child, you know, in our ignorance, we look at them and you be like, but they look like us. When did autism have a look? Right? And so they had all these different case files for each child, and what, as they would say, what was their triggers? What happened to them, or what's going on with them that you do not I want to say, for some it was not being in their space. For some it was loud noises. For some it was attachments. Like one young guy, he had an attachment to the TV remote.
Mm-hmm.
And it was something him and his father had together. And so he felt out of place completely, or, you know, meltdown if he didn't have this remote. And then theirs was several, was the learning curve of autism. And so we go into this classroom and we're there the whole school semester, and you fall in love with these kids. You want the best for them. You want to do what's necessary. You know, we all had trips where they would take them on a bus ride, how to live with autism, of teaching you how to go to the grocery store, count your own money, just in case if you're by yourself, you can still live with this, not to handicap you. Yeah, that's the word. Not to handicap you, but you can learn. And there were even couples that were in there that both had autism. And so it was another level of life that I never saw before until then. Those are one of the words that we deemed as a serious disease, as if you had AIDS or something like that. Oh, you have autism. You don't even know what that means. But yet and still, you know, some people would, like I said before, put them in a box and label them as something to be afraid of. So for kudos to you for taking the time to not only learn about it, but also come up with ways to help these young people develop into functional people. We all have a different level of, as I would say, autism in a way, on how we learn, how we develop, how everything. Again, we're all different on purpose. So drop the labels. How about that? Let's come together as a village and help one another. That's what we're here for. Yeah. So when you are in a classroom, or before it even gets to a classroom, what are some things that you can tell the people to say, hey, these are some tips to living with autism?
So these are some tips of how to live with. Is it how people that have autism, how they live with autism?
Both. Both. It could be the person that's taking care of the person that have autism, and on the other side of the person who actually has autism.
You know, I think the theme could be on both parties is for everyone to understand and embrace differences. Okay. Is understand, you know, your whole theme of what you were just talking about is understanding that everybody is different, and that's okay that we are different. And as far as, parents and things, because I get the young ones, it's, we want to increase their quality of life as much as we can. And how do we do that? We want them to have functional skills. And how does that look? Toileting. I have the little ones. So if we can really work hard on it, getting them to toilet, teaching them how to communicate. And I think a lot of people get mixed up with how communication looks. People think just talking is communication. But we should know that communication is your body language.
Mhm.
Communication is using body parts, and how we communicate due to the fact that if we're angry, we might do things that's not appropriate. So learning in their way of how they can communicate, whether that is using a device, whether it's that using their voice. There's various many ways, and learning also how to advocate for themselves. Now, how that looks will look different for each child for advocating for themselves. But advocating if someone is wrong to them, maybe having to tell someone, what are ways that they can learn how to cope in life when things don't go their way. We have to teach. These are skills that have to be taught to them. But I'm an adult that's still working on how I can cope.
Right.
So while we're saying how do we do this for children or people with autism, we as adults who are considered we don't have disabilities, these are skills that we have to still learn how to cope and how to work with our feelings and things of this nature. But anything that we can think of to increase their quality of life. And for some people, tying a shoe may not be a lot for some, but for some, it could be a lot that you know how to tie your shoe. You know how to put your clothes on, how to cook for yourselves. These are skills not just my babies need, but skills that some young adults who don't have disabilities, to be honest with you, don't have. So these are skills that we need to increase for everyone within our community to learn as well.
Absolutely. And I agree with you. My mom just had back surgery, and to have to start over to learn how to walk a different way, sitting up straight, these simple things of, feeding yourself or having somebody to feed you. Again, there are not, I don't want to say survival skills, but it's a way of life that you have to continue to work on to get better. You have a goal in mind. Sometimes with a learning disability or something like that, I remember even with my brother, he had a speech impediment. And so he couldn't even say my name. He would say everything but Camila. So for everyone around him, they were frustrated that my own brother couldn't say my name, until eventually I had to work one-on-one with my brother. And even to this day, he has to literally slow his mind down and actually pronounce each letter in my name to, like, okay, Camila, versus saying something else. Again, once you learn what it is that you might be struggling with, it makes it easier for the tools to come in to aid you to make you better, right? And so it was, and at the time it was, the short bus, and, you had to be in a different class from everyone else, and all of these different things. Again, 80s, 90s, wasn't nobody saying autism. What was that? You know what I'm saying? So these are the things and words that we have used that sometimes have intimidated people. And again, kudos to you again to having the patience to learn about these conditions in these ways and helping to come up with ways to improve someone's life. And not just in autism, like we said, in all of us, that we have to find ways to communicate. even over time.
Effectively.
Yes, absolutely. There's therapy, there's, counseling, there's physical things that you can use, even to the point where there were things that with us that emotionally trigger us, right? So we start with these words of autism, but I remember even in my weight gain, weight loss, right? Not dealing and coping with life. I was depression eating.
Mm-hmm.
Like boxes of cereal and Twinkies and all this crazy stuff, not realizing that I'm eating to cope with what's going on in my heart, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I went to counseling, and this person was like, do you realize that you picking up junk food when you are depressed? When you're stressed out, you're going for sugar, right? I didn't realize that until one day the light bulb came on. And so guess what? I had to learn different techniques to deal with my emotions.
Wow.
To deal with, we would say, my coping mechanism to increase my way of life. I had to deal with it in a different way. And so this is another reason why I have this podcast. When we can bring on specialists, we can bring on different people who have dealt with different things in life to help us get better. This ain't about me. This is not even about you. But at the end of the day, the information that we're giving out, and every person that have ever graced this stage, is to help somebody better their life. At the end of the day,
yes,
I'm better today than I was yesterday.
Yes.
And it didn't come from just me. It didn't just come from a book. It came from people just like you to tell their stories. How did they get there? Don't tell me the end of the story, but you can't tell me the beginning or the middle. That's where all the juicy stuff is.
Yes.
Huh?
The good meat.
At the meat and potatoes is at the beginning and the middle of the book.
Yes, the good meat.
So don't skim me over. Tell me the end of the story, but won't tell me, how did you get here?
Yes.
How can I one thing, and I keep seeing in my head while we're talking about this, the Paralympic Olympics, right? Who would have thought that one day somebody loses a limb or whatever the case may be, and somebody wrote them off to say, hey, you only got one arm, you only got one leg, live with it, and that's it. But something in them said, my life ain't over. If I have autism, if I have a disability, if I have whatever case may be, or they got me crazy on a piece of paper, my life ain't over. You know what they did? They decided, hey, I might can go get that is not a it's not called a fake limb, some with a P, where they get the other limbs, whatever they're missing. They get these, they train with this, and I'm going to get to this goal. I'm going to enter the Olympics. Say what? But you only got, so what? And they're out there running. They're out there swimming. I seen somebody do a bow and arrow with their toes.
Wow.
No hands. Their toes.
Wow.
And they were hitting the target. What excuse do you have?
Wow.
That's messing me up just thinking about it again.
Wow.
I can't even do that, and I got hands. So the moral of the story is, no matter who or what has put a label on you, don't let that limit you. There's plenty of technology out here. There are people like Keyva that can help you get your life together. Make it better than it is. right now. You have no excuse. None.
None.
None whatsoever. None. I was thinking about even with the astrology. Now, this is one of those taboo conversations, especially depending on what religion you are in, that don't believe in the stars and don't believe in the horoscopes, don't believe in of these things. In some senses, to me, some things make sense to me. And I always thought, well, how did they find Jesus if they weren't looking at the stars? That's how I look at it. Now I could be wrong. Do I dove in it and all of that? No, I know about some things, but I'm not in depth in studying it. But again, to each his own. So when you went to school, now I had just had astronomy, and I didn't know astronomy was like math and calculations, and I was like, I'm not, nope. If it ain't Leo the lion and all these other stuff, I don't want no parts. So I dropped the class before it even started. So what exactly is astrology?
Astrology is it's a science, and we have to use math and so forth for it as well. Mm-hmm. And it's based on the stars, the moon, and what we do in astrology is we look at part of you have the umbrella of astrology. And underneath our umbrella, what I think of as the holder for the umbrella is what we have is considered natal charts. Everybody has a natal chart, and your natal chart is based on the month, the date, the year, time, location you were born. And based on that chart there, we can tell where the planets were located at, because the planets are moving constantly. So there's a snapshot. Imagine you being born, and there's a snapshot of where these planets are located that show what was going on in your life. And we can look at astrology to decide your what's currently going on in your life, what happened in your past, and looking at the future, all based on all the stars, the sun, moon, stars, and the sky.
Okay. And from that information, what does a person do? Like after they are told this information, then what happens?
It depends on what the person chooses to do. Okay, I know for me, when I started delving into myself, because I feel astrology is all about understanding who you are. Mm-hmm. So if I'm having an understanding of who I am, who I was, how my life was formed, and so forth, and understanding what it is now, and understanding what I can see based on where the planets are currently transiting around my natal chart, then I can move forward to understand, help guide people on their purpose, wounds they need to work on, traumas they need to work on, because the natal chart shows all that. The natal chart can show the traumas that you possibly have had in your life. And we all understand that we all have a purpose in life. And so in order to live, we all understand, or should understand, that you have a purpose in your life. We also understand that part of everybody's purpose is to be of service to others. How that looks is going to look different for everybody. But you have to work on your wounds. You have to work on healing and growing. Then also at the same time, this is going to help you step into your purpose. And astrology has given me that opportunity to step in that, because it's self-reflection. It gets me understanding who I am as a person. It's a tool. Astrology is a tool that you can use to help you throughout your life. Should you be living on like, oh my gosh, tomorrow I can't go out because this is what something might say in my natal chart? No, you have to understand, have discernment, and you have to live your life and use it as a tool.
Okay. Let's see. Now, some of these we already kind of covered. Of the I remember when. So let's go to when destiny calls. What are you doing?
When destiny calls. So when destiny calls, destiny already called. I'm ready here. You know, I'm taking in my life right now. I feel I'm destined to be here. I'm destined to make my call. I'm destined for my purpose and living out my purpose. I mean, when it comes to your destiny, you have to be ready because you don't know when stuff is going to happen for you to increase your quality of life, increase the next levels that your life is going to be. You ready? I'm ready.
Absolutely. I get it. I There's a picture or a vision that I've had for a long time. And I said something to you about, having my own TV show. Lately, it's been Ellen DeGeneres / Arsenio Hall, of, that entertainment world, to be able to bring in new people that people have never heard of or give them an opportunity. Also helping the community, that Ellen did, bringing in different, just people you've seen on social media, like, man, this kid can really sing, or this kid is doing something awesome. Let's bring them on the show to tell their story. This is what I'm about. I've seen myself on TV. I've seen myself with these celebrities and people like you on my show. So it's just a matter of when it's going to happen. I already seen that it happened. And it's, keep grinding, keep doing what I'm doing until it gets there. And even when I get there, it's, I told y'all this was going to happen. And, bringing all the 300 something, 400 something people that have graced this show since 2020. And so I'm super excited that we still moving. We're still getting closer and closer every day to that one person, that one opportunity, that one, I don't know, Oprah might see the show one day. I don't know how and when. That ain't even my business. Like you said, just be ready when destiny calls. Regardless of dead or alive, who would you love to do a collaboration with?
Oh, let's see. Collaboration with. A collaboration as
Whatever you want to collaborate with. It could be a business, it could be singing, it could be anything. Whatever you want to collaborate with.
Like, in the realm of creativity, or someone to have a high conversation with. I've been delving into I've listened for years, but really over the last like 4 months, really getting into embracing Cornel West. I would love to collaborate and have conversation with him. I feel that the way his mind is, and it's how it's very in depth. I would love to sit down. I love to talk, and I love to talk all different type of conversations. And his mind on policy, his mind concerning Black Americans and how we can help each other. It's very in depth. I love Cornel West.
Yeah, that would have been amazing. I want to say he was just in the news not too long ago.
Yes.
I
Yes.
can't remember about what, but I remember seeing his name um, in a new, and I want to say it has something to do
The
with
presidential election.
presidential election. So yeah, that's amazing.
Yes.
Um, what is something people would be surprised to know about you?
Hmm. Let's see. There's many facets of me. So you can see the serious side of me. There's the witty side of me. And then when there's that time, and I'm nice, but when there needs to be that time, I will and can pack a punch. And it doesn't have to be a low ball or anything of that nature, but I will tell people when needed. If something is bothering me, I can go there and let people know. Let's see. I enjoy having fun, but people know that about me. I love going to concerts. I love going to the Broadway plays. So, but I'm a multifaceted person. So you can't take me for one way. There's various many sides of Keyva that you can see.
Absolutely. To me, that's the way to be. I don't know how to sit still. So that's one thing. And then um, there are, it's the acting, it's the singing, it's the writing, it's the dancing, it's, the fun side, comedian side, it's everything, the emotional side, all of that. Plus, it's I try to not be the redhead with freckles, but sometimes it's needed. I try not to bring that person out. I really try hard
Oh.
not to, but people don't think that fat meat is greasy, so sometimes you just. However, so this year I decided the theme of the show would be Black love. Not only just in couples, but in doing the things that we love to do, showcasing why we do what we do. So I want you to explain to the people the importance of love, why you do what you do, and why it is important to perfect your gift.
So, as far as it concerns love, we have been taught about love externally. You
Mhm.
have to give love to people on the outside of yourself.
Mhm.
That's not, you can't give love to someone else unless you love yourself.
Mhm.
So, while they've taught us in this world for love of others, you have to pour into yourself first and learn how to give that self love. How do you take care of yourself, mind, body, and spirit every single day? And so I myself encompass that for my life, making sure before I walk out of my house to go to a job that I do love it on an external standpoint, that I've taken care of myself, that I have done everything on mind, body, and spirit every single day. So that includes me working out, reading, making sure I have a full breakfast, and giving to myself as much as I can, and pouring into myself before I pour into others. And with doing that, and it's also setting boundaries too. That's another thing about love, is that, like, if you have self-love or you're understanding how to set boundaries and saying no. I have no problem saying no. I have no problems giving people my hours for work. I'm done. I'm not going over beyond the call of duty for anything. And that's not being selfish. That's having self-preservation. It also goes into, when people say things like, and I thought about this saying, when people say a person is selfless and a person will give you the shirt off their back, i'm I'm not apologizing for this. I'm not giving you the shirt off my back because I need it first, because I'm cold. I need to take care of me first, and that is not selfish. In order for us to live and help other people and love other people, we have to take care of ourselves first. I have to take care of myself. And so, with that being said, of understanding that love comes within first, and then I can exude that to other people, this is where it comes in that I have this amazing event coming up. And this amazing event is called Becoming You, Embracing Your Identity. And from this event that I'm having, it's September 29th, 2024 at 11 o'clock, and the tickets are on sale at Eventbrite. And with this event, it's basically helping women understand their identity and who they were beforehand, who they are currently, and how they can heal and grow from their trauma and learn how to love themselves and pour into themselves before they pour into others. What is your identity? How has your identity molded who you are today? And that's my purpose, to help people and be a service to others healing, because I'm on a healing journey. So through my healing journey of how I'm healing, and I'm ready to tell my story to help other people heal, I want other people to heal too.
Absolutely. That is again the reason why I have this. It was told to me that I would become what I once needed for myself, whether that was, getting advice, if it was a connection, if it was just having a hug, somebody actually caring, picking up the phone and calling you is, sometimes, as we say, the strong need to be checked on too. I find that I'm always giving, and not that it's hard to receive. It's just you don't give back what you gave out. Not that you're looking for that, but there's moments when you really need just somebody to say, "Hey, I'm just checking on you. I don't need nothing. I don't want nothing. I just want to say hello." I have a few sisters who called one of them a sis. Like, I can't say that I'm your friend if I can't assist you. What do you need? How can I help you? Like, just be you. No, seriously. What do you need? I'm here for you. And sometimes you have to get to a mature level to even receive that. You're always thinking that somebody, when they want to help you or they want to do something for you, is looking for something in return. Like it's as we say, the prostitution ring. No, it's not like that. There are real people out here who really care about you and really will do anything for you if you allow them to. And so that also is a part of healing. That's also a part of taking care of yourself as well, of letting people in to assist you when you can't assist yourself. So again, this is going to be very good for all those who attend to learn to help you. Who are you? As women, sometimes we take on all these different crowns, and we forget that sometimes we don't need to wear one. You don't have to go to. I ain't never seen no queen or nobody go to sleep with a crown on. Sometimes you just got to let your hair down or take it off.
Yes.
And so sometimes we become the mother, we become the sister, we become the daughter, we become the aunt, we're the friend, we're the wife, we're first lady, we're this and that. And we forget Camila just want to be Camila. If I just want to be around the house in t-shirts and panties, that's what I want to do. Mm-hmm. And don't have to explain myself why I just want to be like this. And so again, those are those special moments where you have to take time out for you. Giving, and you don't have anything left in the tank for yourself is a sad story. And again, there's tools out here to help you get back to you. So that's good. And the last one, before I let you go, before I get into the church announcement, is what is a balanced life for you?
I've thought about this before. And I've always thought, though, can life be balanced? Like, I've always thought in life, will the scales be tipped for me? Like, will there ever seem fit that I could have a balanced life? Because there's always something I tend to work on more than others. They're just depending on how life goes for me. There may be things that call for me to have to put more effort in, so the scale is going to be tipped. Here's the thing, I guess, when it comes to me in balanced life, it's like, I don't know if I'm necessarily saying I'm going to look for a balanced life. What I look for is the accomplishments. Like, am I looking for like how the accomplishments for my life? Each person varies for the accomplishments that they have in this life of what they want to have. So I get relief of and gratification off of completion of finishing.
Got you.
Than not necessarily having the balanced life.
Okay.
Because I don't want to be worried about being balanced. Because we can give an example for in the morning time when I wake up and I say I give to myself. There are days where I said I work out every 6 days a week, and there's days I'm like, I don't want to work out. Now, to someone else, that could be, oh, she didn't do that, so my life isn't balanced. No, I'm pouring in myself. I say I don't want to do it. I don't do it. I'm going to honor where I'm at that day.
Okay.
Doesn't mean there's any lack of balance in my life.
No, so balance can be is what you make it. It can be, moment to moment. It could be day to day, month to month. However, a person chooses, it's a different answer at every day. We all are striving to hit our personal goals, whatever that is. For some, is as simple as I woke up. Because we don't know what their life entailed. It's the moments of, as we say at this moment, take in every breath and celebrate every win, whether it's big or small. Looking at your own life, for me, saying, hey, I don't have the same attitude I had last year. Kudos to myself for maturing in certain things. Certain people and certain attitudes don't trigger me like they used to. Kudos to myself for not falling into the pitfalls of I'm allowing other people to get me off my square. So for me, also the balanced life is I like to be busy. I'm a moving target, right? So we always say, the enemy can't hit a moving target. Now, when you sit still is when he can get you. So I'm never just sitting still. I'm always moving. I'm always doing something. It's almost like, girl, you always busy. I am. I don't want to have an idle mind. I don't want idle hands. I'm always doing something. I'm always having a goal to complete. I'm always moving forward. I remember when there were moments when I felt like I was in a cage and I couldn't do nothing. What happens to an animal when you free them? They make sure you'll never catch them again. Did you hear what I said?
Yes.
Nobody's going to catch me again. So therefore, I'm always moving. I'm always doing something different. You might think you got me now and you got me figured out. Hold on. You ain't seen nothing yet. What's the next thing Camila's doing? I don't know. It's going to be something different. when you think you didn't figure me out, you can't, because I ain't even figured myself out. How about that? So if I don't know, you definitely don't know. I remember that the Bible said that God gave us many talents, right? With an S. So that means multiple. Yes. So therefore, I'm still learning what's all inside of me. Am I done figuring it out? Absolutely not. Still at 46, still trying and figuring stuff out. And am I still going to keep on doing it? Sure enough. Sure enough. I'm not done and I'm not finished. So therefore, I have an open mind. What is balance? For me, it's keep moving. So if that's moment to moment, so be it. If it's second to second, so be it. I can't let nothing and nobody define me. If I was to do that, people would make me choose between the talents that I have if I allowed them to. Won't you just focus on how about not? If I can do it all, why do I have to? So, being honest with yourself, doing what you love to do is balance to me. So, Miss Keyva, of course, I loved our conversation tonight. You know what? Before I let you go, let's tap a little bit on how did you become a public speaker?
Interesting with the public speaking. I started tapping into it because I just remember being in high school. I used to do the announcements and stuff, and I liked it. And then all of a sudden, I started observing and seeing other people get into public speaking, watching YouTubes and stuff. And I said, I liked how I liked it. I wanted to get in there in the public speaking realm because it's a service to others, not just for me speaking, but I'm also combining the public speaking with my teaching. So the fact that I am a natural teacher and the fact that I am a public speaker, I get that feel of I'm able to teach and I'm able to talk to the masses to help them. One of my purpose is to help people heal and grow.
Makes sense. Makes all the sense in the world. Again, Village, I hope you got something good out of this conversation tonight. I definitely did. Again, finding out some things that we definitely do have in common. I knew that was going to happen. Again, having a conversation and just having fun with it. It's okay to be outside the box. I prefer it. I don't like boxes. Again, I am a different being on purpose, understanding that I look different, I act different. When you think you know, you don't know. And I love surprises. So again, that is one of my things of you just never know. You just never know. So again, special announcements that's coming up shortly before we let you go. So in 2022, I wrote my first book, The Blueprint God's Design, by myself. And it is out on Amazon right now. You guys can go there and purchase the book. You can put in the title, my name, or the code. Thank you in advance for your support. 2024, in May of this year, I wrote my second book, and I'm so proud of this book. Oh my goodness. Can prayer change things? Oh my goodness. You gotta get the book to find out. Does, can, and will prayer change things? Go to Amazon right now and buy the book. Again, you can put my name in, the title, or that code. And I thank you in advance for the support of these books. I thank you for that. Again, if you want to continue to see this platform get to TV land, please cash at me, and I thank you in advance at Sunshine Camila. Anything helps, so I thank you in advance for that. This conversation has been brought to you by Blacktop Streetball Association, PTSBA.com. If you remember And1 and you remember Main Event, this is his baby. We're taking basketball back to the streets and getting our culture back. So again, thank you in advance for supporting him. Go to the website to see what city he's going to come to first. If you know of anyone that's doing something great like Keyva, or you have a young person, anybody, it does not matter. Race does not matter. Age does not matter. Inbox me on Facebook at Sunshine Camila. You can go to IG and inbox me. You can even email me. And again, I will respond to you personally. So please do that for me. I have to give shouts out to my sister, AC's Tees. Facebook, AYECEE. Phone number 313-380-0321. Some of the best ginger and turmeric tea you ever saw in your life, ever tasted in your life. I promise you, you will get addicted, because I'm definitely in. Peggy James, that I had on not too long ago. Famous Catering. I need you guys to go support her in her restaurant. 586-222-8417. Again, that is the infamous, the famous Peggy James that not only sings, she preach, and she can cook. I need y'all to go support her as well. My baby sister, I want to say a shout out to this teacher. She's my teacher, and she does an amazing garden at her home. If you have any questions about gardening, any questions about raising quail, yes, I did say quail, anything like that, please get in touch with my sister. On Facebook, she is Yolanda Danielle Peoples. On IG, she is Quail House Homestead. You can let her know that her sister has sent you there to talk with her. Again, she has one of the baddest gardens I ever seen in my life. And for her, she says she is closer to God walking in her garden than anywhere else in the world. So y'all take that to the bank. Again, last conversation will be to Keyva. But before I say that, tomorrow I have a special show that I am doing with comedian from Detroit. Chef Bullet will be here tomorrow. And on Sunday, I have a special show at 7 o'clock with none other than New Jersey's finest queen rapper, NISAF. And we're going to have a good conversation with her, Lady Dee Dee Johnson, which is her mom. And we're going to have a good time. So tonight, your last conversation that you're going to hear is again from Miss Keyva. What do you have to say to the people?
Yes. Thank you for tuning in. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure. Thank you, Sunshine, for having me on your show. And one last thing, I would love to see women at my event, September 29, 2024. It's Becoming You, Embracing Your Identity. We're going to have a speaker. We have PT from the D that's going to be my MC. We have a delectable brunch there. This is going to be a great time to be communal around here in the Detroit area and the surrounding area to grow, learn, grow, and love with each other. I'm here. I'm in the community. There's no stopping me now. This is one of many events that I'm looking forward to in Detroit and surrounding areas for us to love and grow and heal and love on each other. So I am looking forward to being with all the women in this area for years to come.
Absolutely. We will be so definitely supporting that. Again, I believe in 6 degrees of separation. You're literally one person away, one advice away, one help away from where you need to be in your destiny. Proven over and over again since I started this show in 2020. Again, tonight, as usual, I have some of the dopest guests on this side of heaven. Tonight was no different than any other night. Tonight, we had the conversation with Keyva Bridges. And again, we're looking forward to seeing you on tomorrow night with comedian Chef Bullet. That conversation will be tomorrow at 7 p.m. I'll see you again on Sunday with none other than New Jersey Queen rapper NISAF. Again, I love y'all and I will see y'all soon. Peace.
Bye.